We won't stop until the game stops being killed. But some companies insist on mercifully killing certain games. And other companies insist that their dead franchises are not in fact dead. But who though? And finally, Nintendo going in a different direction from the rest of the AAA and even console maker industry. Smaller scale yet more focused games. Let's talk about it, shall we? But if you like this video or any other video I've made, please like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. As any good gamer would know, the further you progress in a game, the stronger the enemies and bosses are. And right now, we are experiencing that with the Stop Killing Games movement. It's garnered so much attention that the games industry has begun to notice, and not in a great way. I, along with the rest of the Off the Console podcast, talked about this with Ross as a special guest, and yes, we talked about this newest article and statement from Video Games Europe. You can check out Off the Console on any of your podcasting apps and even YouTube, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. But the gist of it is that yes, they know, and yes, they are not a fan of it. See, Video Games Europe is not a governmental body. It's not a legislative body or even a government department, but rather a lobbying group created by, of course, the games industry, the greater games industry. Think of what we have in the US. We have the ESA. Their main issues with Stop Killing Games can be boiled down to 3 different points. First and foremost, companies should be allowed to kill their games when they're no longer commercially viable, which is based on this false idea that we want games to keep running forever, which is not true. We just want the ability to play these games offline, or better yet, host servers and sessions on our own. And yes, we can do that. We know how to do servers. I mean, look, people know how to run Minecraft servers, or they know how to do peer-to-peer. It's not impossible. I would argue most live service games can be played by just stripping the online aspects out. In the latest video from Accursed Farms, he mentioned speaking with the developer, and that developer in turn mentions that a lot of the microservices, like voice chat, anti-cheat, and whatnot, could be stripped out. Yes, for a hypothetical offline release. Like, let's look at Redfall. Redfall is a game that was meant to be online, and yes, if the game were better and more successful, the game would probably still be online today. But guess what? They actually implemented a feature where you can play the game offline in its entirety. And yeah, the server's down, you can't play some portions of the game, but you can play the game offline if you want. So it's clearly possible. The second major point is that private servers are not always a viable option, so they say. They claim it's primarily due to safety reasons. Stuff like removing illegal material, or moderating content, or securing player data. First and foremost, let's talk about securing player data, because it's not like these big companies can't be hacked. In fact, we've seen a couple of big companies like Sony get hacked every so often. And the only reason why they collect so much data on you is because they want to sell it to advertisers. I mean, it's the same stuff that Google and Microsoft do. They take your data, they harvest it, and they sell it to the highest bidder. Remember, everyone that's remotely tech adjacent is trying to harvest your data for some extra moolah on the side. And the second one is removing illegal content. How can you upload illegal content to games anyways? Last I recall, you can't upload jack squat to game servers. And if a private server is found to have actual illegal content, then you can bet that server is not going to be up for very long. As for combating unsafe community content, you know, I guess moderating chat and all of that stuff, I think players would take that compromise easily. And here's the thing with private servers, if you don't like a group of people running a private server, you could always just join another one. Oh, also, one more point they mentioned is that it would leave rights holders liable. But like, would it though? You could just say the game is not officially for sale anymore, and that's it. I mean, it's not for sale anymore, right? Not like you can service a product that's not for sale anymore, right? At the end of the day, they're putting out this statement because they are afraid of how powerful Stop Killing Games has become. Like, earlier in the month, it was almost dead in the water at like less than half the votes, but now it's gone beyond 1 million votes. But don't stop there. Just because it hit 1.2 million doesn't mean it's safe. And not to mention, the more votes it gets beyond 1 million, the stronger the case becomes. If you can legally vote as an EU citizen, even if you don't live in the EU right now, you can still vote for it as long as you're a citizen. Just keep doing it, and let me tell you, games will be saved, and we won't stop until games can be saved. I'm also very passionate because there are quite a few games that, would constitute the definition of a modern live service game that I can't play anymore, and honestly it makes me really sad. Had those games had private servers or stopped killing games before they died, maybe I could revisit them at some point, but I can't anymore. On the topic of dead franchises, let's talk about Mega Man, because Capcom certainly did. At a shareholder meeting, they insisted that Mega Man was still important and that they're looking to innovate Mega Man somehow. But have they considered just stop making classic Mega Man content? I mean, seriously, I do not want a Mega Man 12. What I want instead is Mega Man X9, or Mega Man ZX3, or Legends 3. Basically, no classic Mega Man, because let's be honest, everyone agrees that Mega Man X is just far better than classic Mega Man, and so they should make a Mega Man X9. And make it good this time, please. But they could also just make a Mega Man ZX3 or Mega Man Legends 3. As long as it's not classic Mega Man, like Mega Man 12 or like a remake of Mega Man 1 or whatever, I'm okay with any of those options. Listen, I get it. Mega Man, despite being a legendary franchise, was never the big box seller that something like Mario was, and that's okay. I don't care about that. They could remake the entire Mega Man X series, but like modern. That would be awesome. Or they could make Mega Man X9. That would be awesome too. And of course, I want to talk about a franchise that's near and dear to my heart. Guilty Gear. Or at least the old Guilty Gear games, because Strive is a bit of a different story. In this new article at Anime Expo 2025, Guilty Gear Strive producer Ken Miauchi mentioned reaching new fans without losing the soul. But like, it kind of did lose its soul. It's a very different and kind of toned down Guilty Gear, all things considered. Drastic changes to the soundtrack, drastic changes to the character designs, and most controversially, drastic changes to the gameplay. Things like smaller combos, less opportunities for combos, less moves per character, and most controversially, corner breaks. Effectively, you can only really get one combo in the corner until the corner breaks and you reset neutral. It's not really my thing, to be honest. Honestly, even Exer was kind of toned down compared to Accent Core Plus R, the best Guilty Gear, by the way. If this makes me sound like a Guilty Gear elitist, then fine. I'll be the Guilty Gear elitist. And now that Guilty Gear's captured its new audience, I think the next Guilty Gear should start walking back some of the changes Guilty Gear Strive did. And finally, the Steam Summer Sale is about to end in a few days, maybe even tomorrow, to be honest. What did you guys pick up? Because there are a couple of games I picked up that I want to talk about in the future. So if you want to watch that video, then just let me know. But I want to see what you guys bought. Just let me know in the comments down below what you guys bought, and maybe some recommendations for games I might not have. Might be a little difficult though, since I have a lot of the more high-profile releases. Finally, there is one more story I want to talk about. This is something I mentioned to Gardner Bryant, and he already made a video and published it by now, so I'm going to talk about it real quick. Chaldean, the developer of the Special K utility for PC gaming, has officially deleted his Steam account and put up a pretty lengthy readme about why he did so on his GitHub. Basically, it boils down to him not agreeing with things Valve does. There are a lot of actually pretty good points, like for example how Valve did promise us a couple of years ago a way out in case Valve ever shut down, or in case Steam ever shut down. Some of them do work, like for example how Valve's DRM scheme has effectively locked out older PCs from playing games that would run on, say, Windows 98. Kind of a niche use case, but it is something Valve did promise. Another thing he mentions is Steam input specifically being an issue for some people. I mean, personally, I've never had an issue with it. Almost every controller I use, and a lot of newer controllers I use, work with Steam input just fine, either as an Xbox controller or as a Switch controller. And yes, I don't just play games on Steam. Sometimes I play games outside of Steam, and even with Steam on and grabbing inputs from some of the controllers I use, it still works on those other non-Steam games without having to add it to Steam. But of course, his bad points kind of outweigh the good. namely him suggesting we should get subscriptions instead of buying games in our stores. There's also him suggesting people buy games on Epic instead of Steam, but like that's a different story. He explicitly mentions that Valve broke their promises in regards to DRM, but with a subscription service, there are no such promises, and there's no guarantee your game's gonna stay on the subscription service ever. And given how much controversy there is surrounding Xbox's Game Pass, there's no telling if the subscription model is the way to go for video games. Because, I mean, it's probably the most successful subscription service of its kind, but people really just prefer buying games on Steam. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos, and if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.